Second obstacle is called carelessness. One fellow begins practicing asanas and pranayama, but after 1 month or 2 months, there are a number of friends visiting him. Automatically, he feels busy and he thinks, let me wait until the friends go away and then start again. He is a fool who dies without practicing yoga, and by the time he dies, he is in the same state in which he started. So, this is the second big impediment. Suppose the house is thickly populated sometimes, and he wants to take advantage of this as his argument against yoga practice. Because we have the tendency to create a logic which is convenient. We wish to believe that the house is full of people. We wish to believe that we have a journey, therefore let us start it again after returning from a journey. Here, stand tight and begin to practice. You will understand that you have no business to stop when once you start. After 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, you will fall in a line with yoga practice and your carelessness disappears. And the so-called sweet bluff of impossibility goes away from your mind. This is the second impediment which Patanjali indicates. A third impediment is doubt. We begin to practice yoga. After 1 year, we begin to doubt if at all there is any effect upon us or not. That means we have not started yoga of our own accord and free will. That means some fellow prevailed upon us and convinced us to start yoga practice. And we succumbed to his suggestion just as we succumbed to whiskey. But the habit of whiskey takes hold and goes on increasing, whereas yoga practice started of the advice of another person. It loses its strength upon you. After some time you begin to doubt about the reality of yoga. Suppose after 1 year we begin to think it is all a wild imagination. There is no truth in this. Like that we think after 1 year. This is why you are asked to practice without any expectation. Those who expect many strange things will stop in the middle. Some people believe that they get powers by practicing yoga. Let them not begin it, because Patanjali never promised any power. No real master promised anything to us. Once a disciple, after 3 or 4 years of practice, questioned his master, what is it that we got after starting practice of yoga? What is it that we gained? Then the master smiled and said, did I ask you to start the practice of yoga? Or did you come to me and said you begin to practice yoga? The real master never recommends any fellow to start practicing yoga. He will inform and give the right path only when asked. He will expose people to the good things of yoga practice. He will open the book of yoga practice before our eyes, and that too only when we ask him. So the master said, do you remember ever I asked you to practice yoga? He said, no. Then Why do you ask me? Do you remember myself promising any powers or anything by practicing yoga? You ask me, what did I gain? Now I answer you because you asked me today. It is not to gain anything, but it is to lose something you are expected to practice yoga. That is what the great master answered. That is the master who is called Kuthumi. My dear brother, it is not to gain anything, but it is to lose something you have to practice yoga. Do you know what to lose? To lose the undesirable traits in you. To lose something harmful in you. It is to get rid of your ignorance that you practice yoga. So you will be washed off of something and nothing is added in your bag when you practice yoga. So people get a doubt when they begin to practice yoga on the recommendation of others. Again and again they stop and again they stop. And sometimes they change gurus. And I think all of you know the name of the great master Ramakrishna, the master of Vivekananda. During his time there was a Hatha yogi who was having great power. He took sand in his hand and made it sugar and asked a fellow to taste. Like that he has done many things. He used to drink concentrated nitric acid and he used to chew pieces of glass and eat. And Vivekananda asked his guru, he is having such power and I know your path is the royal path. How is it you are not having any power? Then Ramakrishna said, you approach him and try to get some power. Then Vivekananda one day started to approach the new guru, and it was late in the night. There were many trees. It was quite a jungle on the way. You know, the jungles in the tropical countries are dangerous. They are not like the jungles in the colder countries. When he put his torchlight, he saw a serpent just before his feet, and he came back. Ramakrishna asked, did you approach the Guru? No, he said. Today, once again, tomorrow we will go and approach. During daytime he started next day, and a car crossed with him with great speed, and it was only a hair-breadth escape. And Vivekananda came back. The Guru asked him, did you approach the Guru? He said, no. Try tomorrow. He said, I don't want to. Then Ramakrishna asked, what's the reason? Then Vivekananda said, I now come to understand what power is. I am able to see what power saved me in two situations. I understand now that the power knows better than what I know. Let the power handle me as its own instrument to do something useful, instead of myself trying to use the power in a foolish way. Until one reaches to such a point of understanding what is power, one has to lead his yogic career in doubt and stop somewhere. One fellow said, I have tried Patanjali Yoga for 5 years. I didn't find any results. I stopped it. Then I started practicing Tao meditation. for 3 years. Stopped it. I practiced Hatha Yoga for 4 years. My health improved and nothing more was there. I stopped it. I began to meditate the theosophical meditation. There was something beautiful in the early days. Afterwards, there is no change. I stopped it. So this is another obstacle. The fellow exists where he was in the beginning before he dies. And he dies in the same state at which he has started.